June 12th is more than just a date on the calendar. It's a symbol of struggle, sacrifice, and the relentless pursuit for true democracy in Nigeria. It also marks 1993, the day 1993 when millions of Nigerians across religions, regions, and classes united to vote for what remains the freest of elections. And although victory was stolen, June 12th has endured not just as a memory of what was lost, but also as a reminder of what is possible. So today, we're going to celebrate not just to romanticize the past, but it's important for us to commit to the promise of democracy. How do we build a government that reflects the will of the people? How do we build a government that protects the rights of human beings, delivers justice and prosperity and peace? How do we do that? Because the fact is, 26 years after June 12th, the promise of a democracy that works for us has not yet been fulfilled. Many of you have lost faith in the system. We have elections that are rigged. We have mandates that are stolen. We have politicians that recycle themselves while people suffer. Democracy has become a ritual without results. How do we resolve it? So to mark Democracy Day today, what I'm urging us all to do is we need to move from reflection. From celebration, we need to start reflecting. We need to now then move to action. Because the truth, as you have gleaned in the theme of this event, that no one is coming to save this nation. I repeat, no one, no politician, no international community is coming to save Nigeria. The fact is that you in this room, me, we are all that this nation has. If we don't fix this nation, nothing will happen. Now, this kind of clarity and understanding is what is needed if we need to break the cycle of helplessness that has held us down. If we need to rebuild this nation from the ground up, we have to understand there is no Messiah. Because every time we wait for heroes, we wait for saviors, we wait for breakthroughs, we wait for someone that will come and say, I will fix this country, I will save this nation. But the reality is that no one is coming to rescue us. The only force capable of rebuilding this country is us, an organized citizenry. Because the current system is rigged against us. We need to change it. We must change it. The current political system is built on patronage, on exclusion, on wealth. Now, if we try to change the system, if we try to play that game, we can't succeed because the rules are very strong. So what we must do as citizens to change the current status quo is that we need to shift the playing field entirely. We need to organize. We need to advocate. We need to build power as citizens. We need to move from protesting, which is very important. You protest, you ask, but it doesn't end there. We have to organize. Organize, mobilize. You saw what Obina did. He went, he spoke to people, he brought stakeholders, he engaged them. We have to move from anger, outrage, to strategic pressure. The kind of pressure you apply, it yields results. We have to build a new kind of structure. So today, what I'll try to do in the next couple of minutes is to share with you a blueprint for how we can defeat the current political structure, the current political system, monopoly democracy, the system that holds us back, the system that takes away the good things that are ours. I will share some blueprints as fast as I can. The first blueprint or thing we need to do is that we need to weaken money politics with a new social contract. We need to weaken money politics. Because the fact is, you cannot outspend the political class. If you think that I want to run for office and I'm going to become no, you cannot outspend them. Because they have an entire state and national budgets, rooted money behind them at their disposal. So what we need to do is that we need to start thinking about how do we weaken the power of money in politics. By making them understand that you can spend your money, but you will not yield results. There needs to be a new culture of chop and clean mouth. You take their money, but don't do anything. So they get to a point where they know that even if they give you money or whatever they do, right, you will not still do what they want. Right? They give you money to go and do influencing, to go and influence on social media. You take the money and don't do anything because it's your money. Oh. It is your money. It's not their own money. They simply went and stole from you, went on the other side and gave you back the money and asked you to do something. So there needs to be a new culture. So when it becomes clear that someone will spend 10 billion and they go to the polling unit, he sees one vote, tomorrow he knows that the money does not make sense. So chop their money. Take it. It's your right. We need to promote that idea. So they now know that money is not enough. People need to act with integrity. And so then we now find those people. We take the money, now the right person, and we go vote at the end of the day. That is it. That's the new culture. And Harry. Now, the next thing we need to start thinking about doing is that we need to start infiltrating power structures with value-based actors. Institutions like INEC, the judiciary, military, you name it, they are made up of human beings, so not ghosts. INEC is made up of our brothers and sisters, people that we know. We need to infiltrate them. And how do we do that? By engaging principled actors from within who want to work for us. So that at the dying minute, you have people who will say, you know what, I will do the right thing. When they ask me to announce fake results, I'll announce good results. I want to give an example. Imagine we have university students. You are here. In the next 2 years, most of you will be asked to go and become polling unit agents. Right? Imagine before elections, we groom them so that when they go to polling units, they will announce the right result, even when they try to force them to do the wrong thing. We need to groom good actors to emerge, to enter the system. Then we need to turn the outrage into coordinated pressure. How do we convert all the anger on the streets from Twitter, the Twitter space conversations? How do we do that? Because anger and outrage on social media in your personal space is not enough. Tweets will fade, hashtags will disappear, but coordinated structures will endure. A misbehaving senator or a leader can ignore social media trends because they will likely be replaced by the next news cycle. But they cannot ignore 500,000 registered voters with their PVC that say, you know what, we're going to be a part of a voting bloc. And because of what you have done, we'll vote you out of office if you misbehave. So how do we start organizing into voting blocks to now demand? So what we will do, we need to train at least 5 million people on how to organize. Because organizing is an art and a science. It's not just talking. It's about how do you convince people? How do you engage with trolls? How do you engage skeptics? How do you convert tribalists? How do you influence minds? How do you combat psychological operations? I hope you know that the division on social media between tribes is designed, right? I hope you know that. It's not ordinary human beings. No, there is actual psyops happening. People are staying somewhere and saying, you know what, for the next election, we have to divide Yoruba and Igbo because of this. And they go and they deploy the plan methodically. And you think it's natural that you hate Igbos, or you hate Yorubas, or you hate Hausas. You think it's natural? It is designed. So we need to train a new 5 million people who will go and counter that, who will come and unite Nigerians. They have to be trained to organize effectively. And then we need to use new media to spark a national reawakening. Most Nigerians have turned away from politics because they feel that nobody is hearing them. They feel betrayed and exhausted. Most people are giving up. The fact is that you are lucky to be here. Most Nigerians don't care. June 12th is just one of those holidays. We have to be intentional about how do we engage them. How do we reawaken them? Because if we don't reawaken them to understand that politics affects everything, nothing will happen. Because politics and governance shape fuel prices, job opportunities, education, security, and everything else. And this problem is cultural. It's embedded in us. We don't think that politics is important. And so we need new media voices. You have TikTok. You have Facebook. You have several platforms. We have comedians, influencers. We have to start speaking to ourselves. How do we tackle apathy? How do we address misinformation? How do we use humor, stories, music to drive interest in politics? Because the average young person is not interested in politics. How do we create content that reawaken our national consciousness, rewire our culture, and make people to understand the connection between politics and the money in their pocket? So we need to do that. And then we need to, like I said before, mobilize around issue-based voting blocks instead of parties and leaders. Yes. Because the idea before now is that we like to rally around parties, around leaders, right, as a solution. Yes, it's important because of the democratic space. But imagine if we rallied around voting principles, around shared values. Because these parties are fickle, as we know. They can jump from one place to another. Imagine if we came together and we built a voting bloc for restructuring and institutional reform. 5 million people come together and say, you know what, I have my PVC. And we are organized. Every day we are meeting ourselves. We're not a political party. But we are meeting every day and saying we want restructuring. Our students in the university who are experiencing ASU strike every now and then, every day, and you say you want better education. And all the young people in Nigeria come together and say, we are going to organize under a voting block for better education. They collect their PVC and they number themselves. You know, the challenge is they don't know who is who. You gather yourself. You are 1, you are 2, you are 3, you are 4, you are 1,000, you are 500,000, you are 1 million, and you stand and say, we will vote as a block for candidates that will ensure we have better education across the 1,500 and something positions. You see, for budget reform, we've been complaining about budget insertions, about what they do at National Assembly, and we have a voting block for budget reform. Anti-corruption voting block, women and youth in government voting block, we need that. Because these blocks will now unite us, not based on the leaders, but based on shared values, not on personalities. And we can do that across parties. We also need to engage and energize the middle class. First-time voters. Let me shock you, the number of people that will vote in the next election are more than the people who voted in the last election. In the next 2 years, new voters will be born. We need to go and energize them. According to the African Development Bank, approximately 23% of Nigerians are considered as middle class. Most of them don't vote. With our population projected at 237 million, that means you have around 20 to 50 million people who are middle class. Those middle class people are people that you need to spend so much money to buy them. You can't buy them with 5,000 naira or 10,000 naira because they earn more than that. We need to go and find them and wake them up. Your money is reducing, mobilize them. No politician can easily buy the middle class, but they are afraid to vote. They like to stay in their house. I don't want someone to kill me or cut my life short or all of those things. But stay there. When Nigeria happens to you, you have to wake up. It has been happening to you. It can destroy your house. So we need to go. Our game plan for 2027 is going to wake all of them. 30 million of them wake up, come out and vote. But let me shock you. By 2027, 39 million Nigerians will become 18 years. I want you to understand this. The last election, we had 23 million people. By 2027, what do I say? 39 million Nigerians will become 18. They will be voting for the first time. Hi, are you hearing this? What are we going to do? What are we going to do to them? They will be trying to make decisions. They're on TikTok. They are Gen Z. We ignore them, but they have power. We have to organize them. We have to mobilize them. You say you want people in office that will run for office. Let me show you, 15 million Nigerians are in diaspora. You don't need the politicians' money. We have 15 million Nigerians in diaspora who can support and back value-based candidates, who will throw their weight because they have experienced what it means for good governance. They have seen what UK looks like, Australia looks like. They will back candidates. We have to find them and bring them in the political equation. Because in the last election, 27 million people voted, right? But guess what? 23 or so voted. But we have over 50 million people who we can mobilize. We have to bring them into the system. Because you need to understand that politics affects every aspect of their life. We must bring them. We must engage them. Get them to fund credible candidates. Support citizens-led campaign. To join value-based voting blocks and to demand accountability. Because engagement begins with possibilities and responsibilities. Not everyone will run for office, but every one of us must play our role. Most importantly, we need to build long-term relationships with the grassroots because they still hold the key. Yes, we engage the middle class, right? We engage those in diaspora, we engage young people, but those in the grassroots, those suffering, those that they used to buy with 5,000 and 10,000, we need to go and engage them. Now the mistake we make is that we remember them in election day. It's during the election that we remember them and start trying to get them to come and vote. No. If you want them to vote for you, you have to build a relationship with them. Start now. Go there. Go and find market women, artisans, youth leaders, faith-based groups. Start working with them. Start supporting them. Start building them. Start uplifting women. Giving children scholarships. Supporting their livelihood. Improve their agency. Because if we don't do that, when we increase their agency and make it difficult for them, when we increase their agency, increase their well-being, it will be difficult to buy their vote when it's time. And when it's time, they will remember that, when I was down, this value-based voting block supported me in my business. Why would I take 5,000 naira to do otherwise? So, Most importantly, we need to organize around 5 outcomes to rescue Nigeria. There are 5 things we need to organize around. Because when we build this energy, what are we fighting for? What are we organizing for? Because there are many things you can demand. End bad governance, all those things. They are very good and attractive things to shout. Right? ENSA has very good attractive things to shout. But we've identified from a data and research perspective that there are 5 outcomes that citizens need to organize around. The first one is we need to fix INEC, and we've had that here. We need to develop a people's mandate. 3, we need to embark a new class of leaders. We need to reform political parties and birth new ones. And most importantly, the 5th one, we need mass civic mobilization and accountability. And so, acting on our convictions, acting on what we believe in as Mandate 4, we are launching a couple of initiatives I'm going to be sharing with you today. And that's why we are really gathered here, to share some of these initiatives. And you'd have seen some of them when you are walking in terms of when I say time to organize and all of that. The first one is Citizens United. And the idea is, how do we gather 30 million Nigerians to speak with one voice? That's the question. How do we get 30 million Nigerians to speak with one voice for everyone? How do we get them to organize to fix INEC, to reform political parties, to support new leaders that design a governance agenda? And so what we've done is that we discovered there is a new advantage. There is what we call a strategic advantage that as young people can leverage, and that's technology. Technology is the uneven playing field. It can bulldoze billions of naira. With one press of a button that can reach 5 million voters, that the politician will spend billions of naira to put on TV. So how do we use technology to disrupt things? And so we've built Citizens United, your civic engine, that provides you with every single thing you need to act and engage to save this democracy. For example, you have Tolu, an AI system that can answer any question that you have. From where is my polling unit? Who should I vote for? What is wrong with this country? Whatever questions you have, it's there. State and governance dashboard that gives you an understanding of what is wrong with this country. How do you act and engage intelligently when you say Nigeria is bad? How do you address it? It's there. We've also built a system that will enable you to know your leaders. Most of you don't even know your House of Rep member. Who is your House of Rep? You don't know. The system enables you to do that. And what we are doing on this system is that you're going to be able to know them and demand from them. Send them your demands. You don't have to go to Abuja to let them know what you want. You can, from the comfort of your home, hold them accountable. So that when we elect new leaders, they know that we have a pipeline to engage them. All the leaders are there. We're also building a system for you to organize. To start issue-based campaigns, how do you find an issue in your community and get people to care about those issues? They're building that. No, scroll up, please. How do you do that? How do you rally voters with PVCs? We create a system that enables you to rally, build your voting block. So when it's time for election, all you simply have to just do is just send a message. 100,000 voters, just send a message. Let's show up on this day and vote. And they get your message. Whatever broadcast you want them to listen to, they can listen to it. You can live broadcast them. You can live tweet. You don't need to start silently. You don't have to be on social media. You are engaging with them silently and you are dragging them to the polls. So what do? You find voter 1, your uncle. Voter 2, your cousin. Voter 3, your auntie. Voter 4, your neighbor. And you are building them together. And as a citizen, you can mobilize them to come out and vote. We are deploying this technology to support other organizations that are doing similar work. So what we are building is not for Mandate 4. It's to empower other organizations that are trying to fix this nation. So you can see some, for example, we talk about INEC reforms. On Monday, we're going to be launching this, where we're going to rally citizens to demand for electoral reform. It's clear, it's there. So pass electoral reforms. Scroll up. Also, we're going to be giving you information about budgets, bills, projects, policies. The data from budgets, we are collaborating with them to ensure you can see it there. The bills from PLAC, you can see it here. The projects, the policies. So you are informed when you engage and advocate. So we've built a civic engine that you can use to engage. And then when it's time for elections, everything is simple. You can register to get your PVC. That information will be easily accessible here. You can also monitor to protect your votes. In the last election, we didn't know what was happening. That will change. Because what we are doing right now is that we're building a force of 5 million citizen vote protection volunteers. We currently have close to 2,000 people who have signed up already. So we're on the road to 5 million. 2,000 people have signed up in universities that say that, you know what, we will vote. But at the same time, we'll track the result at the polling unit. So that when INEC is saying we go to IRF, as citizens, we have our own IRF. So we can track and know when things are not done right. The results, we'll be able to see the results when the results emerge. So just to give them it, and because that's how we win. If you are one person talking, nobody cares about you. If you are 10, it's a conversation, you are gisting. If you are 100, you are creating awareness. People are, okay, we are listening to you. If you are 1,000, we are building pressure. You start taking notice. If you are 10,000, this number can win a polling unit. But the moment you get to 1 million, you are creating a movement. And by the time you get 30 million, you are creating change. And so what we are trying to do is start with that one person, grow to 10, grow to 1,000, grow to 10,000. And it's not a today journey. It's a very, very long journey. And so I just want us to just run quickly. Can you just show them the app? This is not just a landing page. It's actually working. You can see it. It's actually functional. You can see your Tolu Civic Assistant, State of the Nation. It's all functional. It is going to be going live on Monday morning on citizensunited.org. If you're watching this, you would create your own account and you can take action from election monitoring, take them to organize. So you can see courses that are starting out in terms of we're trying to demand for electoral reform. We're trying to demand for the need to register political parties, just as you have change.org. You can actually demand. You can see it growing to 10,000 supporters because we already have people who have already supported this cause already behind, because we've been mobilizing the past couple of months. Remember, we went to Pipe community to talk about electoral reforms. We took petitions from them. They are there. So we are growing to 10,000 supporters at the back end. At the end of the day, we're going to see the need. You can share these courses, galvanize. Please scroll up. Scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. Scroll down, like down. Towards the end. Scroll down, scroll down. You see different things you can leverage. Different toolkits you can use to advocate, to speak up. So when we are saying electoral reform, we've designed even the tools that when you sign this petition and demand for these reforms, you can actually, right from here, send it to your friend on WhatsApp. You cannot come out for protest, Abi. Just demand. And once they demand, at the back end, we have their phone number, we have their name, we have their information. And what happens during the election? We tell them it's time to come and vote. It's time to come and what? Vote. Silent what? Advocacy. We are mobilizing, designing, building. We're doing this. We're going to be collaborating with different organizations to ensure that at the end of the day, it will no longer be 2 people or 20 people in a room. It will be 10 million people who will come out and do the right thing. Go down to lead. So you can see we have a Run for Leadership Hub. We've come up with an eligibility checker system. So when you talk about new class of citizens, people that want to run, click on it. We've built a tool that can enable you assess if you are going to be a good leader. We talk about the 3 C's. Abi, capacity, competence, and character, right? What we've done is that we've produced a research, a white paper that tries to break it down, and then created an assessment tool that when you take the tests, it will give you your score and tell you you are 20% in new class, you are 10% in new class, you are 80% in new class. Because based off of that, at mandate 4, we are looking to find and back leaders that will run to the same election. We are finding them, researching them, we will back them, provide them with the resources that they need to succeed, to deliver for Nigerians. But first, we will use that framework to screen them. We're not asking for your money. If you come and say you want to give you money to, we don't collect money. We invest in you. Build technology systems, infrastructure, operations, everything that will enable that market woman that has 3 C's to run and win. Back her. That's what we are designing. So new class is launching, and then based on that research, we would assess you on that capacity, competence, and character. Once you pass it, you are a family. You are part of us, and we'll back you across the different parties that you want to run on. Go back. Once this is live on Monday, you can log in citizensunited.org and take that test and let us know. You can also download the white paper. The white paper there would give you detailed information about how we arrived at this. It's a 30-page document, very detailed. It captures how we arrived at that. Go to election, so they see what I'm talking about. You can see the next election. You can set a reminder from here to know when the election will happen. You can set a reminder. Both for local government, gubernatorial, and presidential elections. You can scroll down. You can check your registration status. If you have issues with your PVC, you can do that. You can also register to vote if you're a first-time voter. You see our Gen Z, right? That 30 million that are young people. They love technology. That's what they love, right? They're on TikTok. This platform, they just simply will go here and they know what they need to register to vote. No, it's clear and direct. It's their hub. When it's time to vote, you can find your polling unit from here. Straight up, you click on it. It tells you because you have your information. We know your word, everything is just in your screen. This is your polling unit. Walk there and go and vote. It's there. And then, interesting in what we're doing as well is that you can view your candidates, so you can assess them, so you know who they are, their track record, what they are for, how they rank on our 3Cs. They will be on this platform. Take them to under Know Your Leader. So you see them like this. You can see House of Rep. Let's look at His Excellency. You can see all our leaders will be like this. You will see their profile. Every leader running for office in 2027, you will see them like this. You will know their ideology. You will see their manifesto, their corruption scandal, their policy decisions, performance tracking, their accountability, everything about them. You will see it here. We'll gather it and so that when you are making a decision, you are making a data-backed decision, not what they say. Data is there. So now this is existing. I'm building this for those already in office, but when it's now time to vote, they will show up like this. So that way you can decide, and then you can ask them questions. You message them. So you are running for office. What is your policy on this? You will message the candidate. If the candidate does not respond to you, you know he's not serious. He doesn't need your vote. We are tracking it here. We'll see it. So this is coming out. So the civic engine is coming out. And so what are we doing? Beyond this civic engine, we are mobilizing people to demand for electoral transparency. Now, one important issue that we're going to be mobilizing for on this platform when we launch on Monday is we're going to be mobilizing people to register to hold INEC accountable. And my team, are you ready to play that video on hold INEC accountable, please? You need to hold INEC accountable because we're going to be launching that on Monday. Citizens, we're going to be mobilizing Nigerians to hold INEC accountable on two causes. One, to fix INEC. The third one is to demand for the registration of new parties. So play fix INEC and registration of new parties concurrently so they can understand what we're trying to achieve. Okay, why they come up or why they try to play the video would also be building voting blocks. What do you mean by voting blocks? We're going to be organizing people across voting blocks. So if you say you want women and youth in government, we're going to start it. How do we start mobilizing women to start signing up and say, you know what, I will vote for women, I will vote for youth. Start dragging them. We're going to build that. Budget reform voting block. We're going to launch that too as well. Restructuring and institutional reforms. We're going to launch that as well. We're also going to be launching a new class voting block. How do we get new class of voters? Citizens that will vote for those value-based candidates. We're going to do that as well. Then also, we're also going to be launching what we call the Citizens Organizing School. And we're going to be launching that in September, working with other organizations like SPPG, Fix Politics, you name them. And what are we trying to do? It's very simple. We want to figure out how do we find young people, women, anyone, how do we find and empower you with the skills to organize effectively at the grassroots? Because organizing is a skill, something you learn. How do you go and meet someone who hates you and convince them to love you? How do you convert someone who is not interested in politics to become interested in politics? And how was to train them on how to collect data from polling units? Because on election day, what happened? Most of us were taking pictures from EC8A. EC8A was flying up and down on social media. Nothing happened. But we are going to train 5 million polling unit agents, citizen polling unit agents, who would come out and track results. They will be taught how to forensically capture a polling unit. That the evidence is beyond alarming. It's beyond alarming. Across the 200, so there's no to pay polling unit agents. 5 million of them will come out.
You voted, but the system keeps failing you.
Can you see what is happening now? They want to make sure they suppress others from voting.
At the heart of our broken democracy is a compromised INEC and a flawed electoral process. But we have a solution. Citizens, experts, and civic groups have come together from Mandate 4 and the Nigeria Electoral Reform Coalition to draft a bold, practical reform bill. These reforms will clean up our elections, from transparent INEC appointments to electronic transmission of results, diaspora voting, and justice and prosecution for electoral offences. We demand that the National Assembly and the President pass this bill fully, urgently, and without dilution. If they ignore this, we'll mobilize to the streets in peaceful protests across Nigeria and the world. We'll speak with our PVCs at the ballot box. Fix INEC, fix Nigeria. Sign the petition now. Lend your voice to this bill. You voted, but the system keeps failing you.
Can you see what is happening now? They want to make sure they suppress others from voting.
At the heart of our broken democracy is a compromised INEC and a flawed electoral process. But we have a solution. Citizens, experts, and civic groups have come together from Mandate 4 and the Nigeria Electoral Reform Coalition to draft a bold, practical reform bill. These reforms will clean up our elections, from transparent INEC appointments to electronic transmission of results, diaspora voting, and justice and prosecution for electoral offences. We demand that the National Assembly and the President pass this bill fully, urgently, and without dilution. If they ignore this, we'll mobilize to the streets in peaceful protests across Nigeria and the world. We'll speak with our PVCs at the ballot box. Fix INEC, fix Nigeria. Sign the petition now. Lend your voice to this bill. When you say you want good roads, good healthcare, development, quality education, a Nigeria that works for you, what do you exactly mean? Are you ready to give clear directions? Because the details matter. It's time for us to organize our demands. Join the call for ideas. Share your vision for the nation or your state. Submit your policy, projects, and development priorities. Whether you're a policy expert, a technocrat, or a concerned citizen, this is your chance to design an agenda for Nigeria and your state. Let's ask the big questions. How can Nigeria and each state become competitive? How do we unlock the unique strengths and resources in every region? Enough of vague promises from politicians. It's time to create a governance blueprint created by us. In 2027 and beyond, we the people will tell the leaders exactly what outcomes we want and hold them to it. What should your state government priorities be? What should Nigeria's budget actually look like? This is a call for ideas, for people-powered governance. It's time for us to shape the future together. The people's demand. Own it, shape it, demand it.
Each of these projects you are watching on screen is about organizing Nigerians silently, intentionally, and effectively through the power of your votes and through the power of ballots. Now, why these initiatives are addressing that Like I mentioned earlier, we're going to be launching a new class accelerator, right? Working in collaboration with institutions like the SPPG, School of Policy, Process and Governance. What we are simply doing is not to train you to become a good politician. That's not our job. We're not to build capacity. There are schools that do that. There are organizations that do that. Like the SPPG, Elected Not Too Young to Run. Our own work is to provide technical support. You want to run, what is your policy? What is your governance agenda? What is your manifesto? We'll help you create it. Vote protection and voter mobilization technology and outreach strategy will help you deploy it. Communication and voter engagement strategy will help you address that. Fundraising and team building. And how can you be ready to govern? So you're ready to govern. How do you find or recruit the team that you're going to govern with? We address it. Like I said earlier, this support is not for sale. It is true earned commitment. And the last thing we're also going to be talking about today, we're going to be launching, is that remember I talked about the need to empower the grassroots. So we are going to be increasing the agency of the grassroots through empowerment-oriented organizing strategy. Because you have to still go and engage those in the grassroots. And so, under the Empower Women and Youth Fund, under the Empower Women and Youth, we're going to be launching what we call the Empower Women and Youth Fund. And I'm going to be starting with a 10 million naira personal donation from myself. And what I will be doing with that fund is very simple. Is to provide no interest loans to women and young people from 50,000 to 500,000. And then we're going to pair it with financial literacy programs for grassroots. The goal is that in the next 5 years, because it's a money that goes in and they will pay back, so you can use 10 million and you would empower millions of women, because it's going to be going back and back and back and enabling women become more independent. So what will happen? At the end of the day, you would have women that have skills, that have businesses, and at the end, we'll ask you to come and vote. It's not free of charge. To come and what? Vote rights. Vote for leaders with capacity. Because by increasing your agency, by making your vote more expensive, by taking you from a point where you were earning, say, 10,000 naira in a whole month, and you're not earning 500,000 because of your business. Tomorrow they give you 5,000 naira. You say, no, I will not. You convince your family to say, no, I will not. That's how we do that. And the Nigerians everywhere who support this, who will say, you know what, how can I empower this woman with a loan to start a business? It's not free money, it's not grant. They will pay back. So the money is sitting in your account, right? Not doing anything. But you can weaponize that to support one woman in the grassroots to become effective. So we are launching that, and we're going to scale that in the next couple of years. Because the era of organizing citizens for citizens is here. We've complained, we've talked, we've ranted, we've protested, we've done first subsidy protest, we've done NSAS protest, end bad governance protest. We keep protesting. We keep on protesting with our PVC in 2023 election. Nothing happened. It's now time to play a new game, to design a new table, to be intentional. It is time to organize. This is the beginning of a new game, because we cannot spend the political elite, but we can out-organize them.